Hey everybody, I'm the Drink Pro, and today we're reviewing Garrison Brothers Cowboy Bourbon. What's up guys, Kyle the Drink Pro here with you yet again. As always, thank you for liking this video, subscribing to the channel, giving me your comments, keep on watching, and hey, we are close to 1,000 subscribers. This Thursday, we're going to do the 1,000 subscriber live stream giveaway. I'll be giving away a taste of Pappy 15, one of the most sought after whiskeys in the world. So be sure to check it out and be sure to subscribe. We got to get that number to 1,000 for the giveaway to happen. Today we are reviewing Garrison Brothers Cowboy Bourbon. Now, you might not know this, but there are actually several different editions of the Cowboy Bourbon. It was a yearly release. It's been on and off. I think it started for a couple of years, went away for 3 or 4 years, and now has come back in 2020. The version we're reviewing today is from 2015. This is the second release of Cowboy Bourbon by Garrison Brothers. Now, Garrison Brothers was founded in 2008 at the very beginning of the micro distillery movement. They actually advertised themselves as the first and oldest distillery in Texas, which I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it certainly is in recent history and under recent licensing laws. Garrison Brothers is located in High, Texas, which is just outside of Austin. Texas is known for having very hot summers, having a lot of temperature variation, which can do some really cool things with rapidly aging bourbon, but it can also cause some problems. Dan Garrison actually specifically found a cooperage that would make extra thick staves on their barrels to help them survive in these really hot temperatures. Now, I've reviewed Iron Root before, which you could go check out in the link above, but I haven't had any products from Garrison Brothers on this channel, so I'm really excited to see what Garrison Brothers has to offer. And this is a great example of their offerings because it is a high-end whiskey. This is a $200 whiskey these days. When this was released in 2015, I think it was $160. Now, like I said, this is the second edition from 2015 of Cowboy Bourbon. The first edition in 2014 was named in Jim Murray's Whiskey Bible the American Micro Whiskey of the Year, and so it got some clout and it gave Garrison Brothers a little bit of momentum in these products. Now, this is from a bottle that's one of 5,200. They do limited bottle releases, and this is also made of 100% #1 Panhandle American Yellow Dent corn. Boy, that's a mouthful. Now, this bourbon is 4 years old and 135 proof. You would never guess that was 4 years old based on that color, though, and part of that is because of those extreme temperatures that you get in Texas. I'm actually a little bit surprised that you can get a whiskey this color that quickly, but maybe I shouldn't be. Wow, on the nose, I gotta say it does not smell like a 4-year whiskey at all. And this is maybe more important, it doesn't really smell like a micro distilled whiskey at all. I don't want to put any kind of disparaging remarks on small distilleries, but typically it takes a while for them to actually create really good product. And so I'm always hesitant or nervous when I'm tasting something from a new distillery. Sometimes you can get some cool, unique, interesting flavors, but they're not usually ones I really enjoy. This is one of the most cinnamon sweet forward whiskeys I've ever smelled. You know, one of the notes I often like to give is some sort of like cinnamon red hots or, some kind of candy like that. But this one has that smell more than anything I've ever smelled before. This is straight up cinnamon red hots. I mean, that's the closest thing to cinnamon red hots I've ever smelled in a whiskey, ever. That is so spot on. I keep looking for something else, but it really just sticks in that lane. It's got this sweet candy sugar, this syrupy sugarness, like corn syrup. It really has tons of cinnamon. I can get like cinnamon sticks, or that kind of artificial cinnamon like a la red hots. Maybe a touch of oak. I would expect a lot more oakiness given the color, but it's only 4 years on oak, so remember, that's not gonna have as much of an effect as you might think. I mean, if you really sit here and dissect it, you can start to get some vanilla, you can start to get a hint of caramel. I can get some like cinnamon apples that have been stewed for a while. Maybe like a clementine or an orange. And then I could also get a really gentle clove and nutmeg. But really, all those notes I am really digging down. I mean, if you smell this, you can spend a lot of time with this, and it's going to give you cinnamon red hots and oak. That's what I smell, unless I'm really hunting to try to find something that's a subtle, buried in the mixture kind of note. By the way, I didn't address this. Yes, I'm still using these headphones. I am hoping to get my mic game working soon. I'm in the middle of moving house, so everything's a little chaotic. And if you want to see more of the house moving process, consider joining my Patreon. There's going to be a lot more cool content up there. There's giveaways up there, all kinds of great stuff. And you can watch the chaos that is me trying to get a new home together. Maybe as I keep letting it breathe, I'm getting some sort of molasses. There's a bit of a molasses note there on the finish. I say finish, it's not really the finish. On the last snip, just cut all that shit about the molasses. I think I'm getting some black pepper and molasses. Yeah, black pepper and molasses. Whew. 135 proof, man. Oh, and then after sneezing, I can get pears and peaches. There's your tasting tip. Go ahead and sneeze in the middle of a nosing and you can really get some new notes. All right, I can't wait any longer. Let's go ahead and taste it. This is hot stuff. Ooh, man, that Kentucky hug. Oh yeah, you can feel that burn all the way down your esophagus. On the palate, you do not get a lot of heat, which is really surprising and impressive. There's a lot of oak on the finish. Let's taste it again, see what else we can find. Wow. Very sweet up front, very gentle, which is not a word I expect at 135 proof. Get a lot of like caramel early. Mid palate gets kind of nutty, and then you get this sweet, wet oak that evolves into black pepper and dry oak. It's not a particularly complex pour, all things considered. It is only 4 years old, but it is still a journey and it is delicious. I'm really surprised by how much I like this, to be honest with you. Oh, caramel, red apple, citrus up front, and then mid palate is pretty quiet. The mid palate's the quietest part of the profile, but the finish is a beautiful evolution. That sweet oak into cinnamon, into black pepper, into hot pepper on the tongue, and the drying oak kind of dissipates. First couple of tastes, I got drying oak. Third taste, not as much. I can definitely feel the fire in my chest. But this is so easy drinking on the palate. This is just crazy. I'm gonna add a little bit more whiskey to this glass. You know, I came into this expecting it to be kind of too hot, and you know, brought the water dropper out. I'll probably still do a dropper test just to see if adding water opens it up and brings out more flavors, because it hasn't seemed particularly complex as of yet. But man, this is easy drinking for 135. And I'm not usually a high proof guy. Chew it real good. Okay, when you chew it like that, the cinnamon really comes out to play, but it stays sweet. You get corn syrup and cinnamon, so it matches a lot more what you smell. Oh, and then the oak comes in. There it is. There's the oak. Oh, and black pepper on the finish. Man, that is very cool. The fact that you can taste this in sort of 3 different ways. You can add water, you can go straight up with a little sip, and then you can slosh it and have your taste really match the nose. It's sort of like a choose your own adventure. You can have this thing any way you want it, and that is just extravagant. $160 for 4-year-old whiskey seems ridiculous. It does, it seems ridiculous. Yes, it's got a fancy, nice big wooden box, but you know, come on, what's that really worth? Yes, it's limited edition, it's 5,200 bottles. Okay, what's it really worth? This is a freaking good whiskey. 135 proof, you don't need a lot of it. You'll enjoy it in small doses. This is a special occasion pour. And for $160, I mean, for $160, this is definitely worth it. I wish I had tasted this in 2015 and picked one up off the shelf. I really hope I get a chance to try the new editions of this whiskey that will come out in the future, because I'm really liking this 2015 edition. So we'll see if the future ones are as good. Let's take one more sip and then we'll add a little bit of water. Yeah, that's crazy good. 100% corn whiskey usually will have that corn note, and this does. It has a little bit of corn flavor, not just the sweetness from the corn. But I like corn whiskey. I've never been bothered by it. So, you know, people like to shit on mellow corn, and I get that. If you don't like corn whiskey, you're not going to like this, because it's 100% corn. But if you like corn whiskey, and you like complexity, you like some oakiness, you like some pepper and some baking spice, man, this is all over that. Okay, let's add some water to it. So you can see how much I've got. Not very much, probably between half an ounce and an ounce there. So I'm gonna add, I think, 3 drops of water to start, and then I might go to 5 if that doesn't change things very much. Didn't change anything on the nose at all. So let's go ahead and go up to 5 drops. I mean, this is a lot of proof, so you might need a lot of water to make it something different. The peach and the pear that I smelled after sneezing have started to come out to play a little bit more. Ooh, I'm getting almost like a spearmint gum mintiness. All right, let's taste it with some water. The water definitely opens it up, but it opens it up in a bad way. After tasting that, I would not put this on ice. This is unbelievably, incredibly high proof, but it's meant to be drank neat. It really is. You don't want this watered down. You don't want this proof down in any way. Because essentially what's happening is it sort of opened up this whiskey, and that's usually what you want. You open up whiskey to find hidden flavors. But I feel like this has opened up into a chasm of emptiness. And so the mid palate was the weak point, if you remember, on the initial tasting. And now that I've added water, the focus is now in the mid palate. There's a quieting of the sweetness up front. There's a quieting of the oak and the baking spice in the back. And so the weakness is really revealed, unfortunately. So drink this, pour neat, you'll have a good time, and you might get pretty drunk, because 67.5 is no joke of a percentage of alcohol. Please consider subscribing. Please join us on Thursday for the live stream. It's going to be a good time. You bite with some Pappy and help me get to 1,000 subscribers. So share this with your friends. Keep drinking like professionals. Cheers.